So, hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are from. Um, welcome to the uh, webinar session on revolutionizing your portfolio strategy with ServiceNow's enhanced scenario planning capability that was released in August 2024 release along with the Xanadu family release. Just a safe harbor notice, some of the items towards the end of the call are forward-looking statements, especially related to the roadmap with the future enhancements, so they may change in future. We welcome everyone for our future webinars and 360 exchanges. So similar to the current webinar session, you can attend the future sessions. So please scan the link on this page to know more about the future sessions that we have in plan. So the presentation will be recorded and then shared in the ServiceNow community. And we will be initially presenting the new capability along with the demo. We would save the Q&As for the end so that you can ask any questions related to the presentation. And throughout the presentation, we have a few short surveys that we would love you to fill out. So it would really help us in knowing your feedback about this new capability. Just a quick intro about myself. I'm Vinay Kumar. I'm a principal product manager in ServiceNow SPM BU, and I manage the new scenario planning and financials capabilities. So before we get started, a short poll to get you engaged and also do a quick check about who we have in the room. So we have just launched a Zoom poll. It is about how are you currently doing your annual or quarterly strategic planning, where you prioritize the work items that you plan to execute in your organization. It's to know which tool you are using. Is it the new strategic planning workspace or the portfolio planning workspace? Or are you still using the classic experiences? Or are you using the Microsoft products or any other PPM products to do this exercise? Okay. So just few more seconds before we end the poll. So far, 62% participation. I think so far we have about 65% participation. So I would encourage everyone to please uh, fill the poll. Okay, so the poll has ended. So let me share the results. So we have, I hope you are able to see the results. So we have about 20% attendees using the SPW or PPW in ServiceNow SPM, whereas 17% is using the classic experience. We would love you to move to the new experience. And a majority, which is 46%, are still using Excel or PowerPoint, while 17% are using other products. So whoever is doing in Excel or PowerPoint, we would love to know what are the any missing gaps that you see in ServiceNow. We would love to know your thoughts about how we can improve so that you can start leveraging ServiceNow. And the presentation today is going to potentially fill this gap and encourage you to move to using the ServiceNow workspaces for your planning exercise. So coming to the problem statement about the topic that we are going to cover today. So this is a target user persona that we have, who is a portfolio manager. His name is Brian Walker, and he's a portfolio manager in one of the leading supermarket chains in Europe. And his challenge is that he needs to constantly ensure that he is prioritizing and executing the right work items which are aligned to their strategic goals, which help them achieve their organizational outcomes, while he is constantly managing competing demands and also shifting timelines of those work items. So without a way to simulate different prioritization scenarios of those work items and being able to compare them and determine their potential outcomes, he is not able to make informed decisions to confirm a portfolio plan that rightly balances the resources and the strategic objectives that he wants to meet effectively. So the new scenario planning capability is for helping users like Brian to easily able to create multiple plan alternatives of their portfolio prioritization scenarios, and then being able to compare them against each other side by side using the new comparison view, which will allow them to look at the strategic alignment of these scenarios and also different trade-off decisions made against these scenarios, and then take an informed decision about which scenario to approve as their live plan that clearly aligns to their organizational goals and help them achieve the outcomes that they have decided for a particular planning cycle. So let's dive deep into this new experience to know more about what features are available in this new scenario planning experience. So just a side note, so this is a new scenario planning capability, which is uh, not a new application, but it is part of the existing strategic planning workspace or portfolio planning workspace application in ServiceNow SPM. You don't need to install any new plugin. It will be automatically displayed when you upgrade the SPW to the Xanadu release, which is the August 2 release for this application. And since this is the V1 of this new experience, it has some limitations, like we don't yet support defining financial and capacity constraints and support doing financial or capacity planning against the set constraints. Those enhancements are being planned as future roadmap items, which I will talk in detail at the end of this session. So diving deep into the new experience. So as part of the scenario planning, we have created a new container experience inside the portfolio plans in the strategic planning workspace, where user can create a scenario which will take the user into a simulation mode. In this mode, user can create, share, and connect with other users to make informed decisions through collaboration and clear visibility into multiple plan alternatives. So this is the portfolio planning screen in the strategic planning workspace. So we have added this new scenario planning button for first-time users, which clearly highlights a CTA. So for the first-time user, when they click this button, it will open an introduction video, which will explain the capabilities of the new scenario planning. And then in that welcome screen, they can create new scenario by copying it from the current plan. And after the first time, for a returning user, it will look like this, where you have a call to action button as create scenario. And then the user can create more scenarios either from the current plan or from existing scenarios. So once they get into a scenario, we have a simulation mode, which will have the prioritization and roadmap capabilities. So whatever the user is going to do in this simulation mode would not impact the live plan. It is like a playground in which the user can try out multiple prioritization and timeline variations of their portfolio timeline. So this is the roadmap view, and user can easily drag and drop the planning items to shift the timelines of the planning items inside a scenario. So this is the prioritization tab inside a simulation mode of the scenario. So in the prioritization tab, we have a new in-plan column with a toggle option. So using this in-plan toggle, user can quickly prioritize or deprioritize an item by switching the toggle on and off. So switching the toggle on is equivalent to prioritizing an item. And we have two new columns which are start and end date of the scenarios. So these dates are based off of the planning dates of the planning items. So those dates will act as a starting point for the scenarios, and user can modify the scenario start and end date specific to a scenario to try out different timelines of each item. So if the dates, let's say when you create a scenario, if the planning dates are way outside the portfolio timeline, so in that case, the dates will be highlighted in yellow until the user moves the dates back into the portfolio timeline, they will stay in yellow. And the user can easily modify these dates by double clicking on the cell and using the date picker component. So for the in-plan items, we have an outcomes widget, which will show the strategic alignment of the prioritized items. It will clearly show which items are aligned to which primary goals. I mean, how many items are aligned to which primary goal. And it highlights in red all the planning items which are prioritized but do not align to any primary goal. So ideally, all the items that you are prioritizing should be aligned to your organization goals, and if they are not, they should be fixed. So this outcomes panel clearly shows that to the user. And there is an approve scenario option, using which once user is good with the scenario, they can directly approve the scenario as a live plan. Uh, if they don't want to create any more scenarios and good with this scenario outcome. But ideally, user will create multiple scenarios, and they can use this compare scenarios view, which will compare the scenarios that the user have created against each other and also against the live plan based on which the scenarios are created. So the compare scenarios view is a dedicated space to easily able to compare and add and compare multiple scenarios. So in this view, we have two major sections. One is strategic alignment, which will show uh, which primary goals are being delivered using the prioritized items inside each scenario. And as I've mentioned, it also shows the items with no primary goal aligned. And the other section shows the trade-offs made in each of the scenario. So it will show which items are newly added in a scenario and which items are removed from a scenario compared to the live plan. So for example, in this screenshot, there were 24 prioritized items in the live plan. Compared to that, in the new goals alignment, one item is newly added to the plan, whereas 4 items are being deprioritized from the plan. And this is how the other scenarios compare against the current plan. So using this, user can have a discussion with their investment committee, and they can analyze different scenarios and their trade-offs. And once they reach an decision about which scenario to approve and make as a live plan, they can select the approve scenario call to action button in the compare scenarios page, which will show a model that clearly explains what is going to happen when you press this approve button. So when a scenario is approved, the approved dates of the live plan, the live records will get updated with the scenario dates. So let's say in the scenario, you moved a project by 6 months. When you approve a scenario, if that project is marked in plan, the approved dates of the live record will be updated with the scenario dates, which are shifted by 6 months. So this will communicate to the project managers that uh, the project is approved to be shifted by 6 months. So the project manager also needs to probably start execution based on the newly approved dates. And if there are any items which are newly marked out of plan, so they were prioritized before, but they are moved out of plan in the scenario that is being approved. In that case, the state of that planning item will be updated to in review, and those items would no longer reflect on the live roadmap. And if there are any items which are highlighted in yellow in the scenario as they fall outside the timeline and they are still marked in plan, then those items will be moved out of the portfolio plan as their approved dates do not align with the portfolio timeline anymore. So users can also take notes of why they are approving a particular scenario while they are approving a scenario, and they can also optionally choose to delete all the other unapproved scenarios. And when they select approve, then the scenario gets updated against the live plan, and those scenarios will also be saved under the approved scenarios section so that users can open it and review it for future reference. So these approved scenarios will be read-only as they were already used for approval. And then users can just revisit them to know like what was the state and using which I just approved my live plan. So these are the high-level functionalities which are part of the new scenario planning. So I plan to shift to a demo. Before that, let me see if I can answer any questions. So can I modify the data I want to use in my scenarios? So the scenarios will have their own prioritization options, which is indicated by the in-plan column, and also you can modify the dates. But other than these two fields, the remaining data will be fetched from the live mode uh, for users reference. In future, we are going to add financials and capacity planning capabilities, which can be modified specific to a scenario. So in V1, we can only modify the dates and the states inside a scenario. Yeah, so Mark, the resources alignment will be delivered as part of future enhancement when we bring in the capacity planning. So Darren, you have some question? Okay, cool. So if there are any other questions, maybe we can reserve them for the end. So coming about the licensing, so this scenario planning is part of the strategic planning workspace and the portfolio planning workspace, like I mentioned. And it is supported for both standard and pro licenses, but it aligns with other capabilities in Pro, which is the ability to plan on agile epics and also being able to set goals and align the planning items against those goals. So in the screenshots that I shared, if you are a standard customer, you won't have the goals module, but you can create scenarios and approve it. So that's the only difference. So how to activate it? As I mentioned, it's part of the strategic planning or portfolio planning plugin. You don't need to install anything newly. It is targeted on the product manager, portfolio manager, and enterprise PMOs user persona. And it is backward compatible with Washington release. So even though it's released in August along with Xanadu, since it's a store app, it is compatible with the Washington family release. So now I want to switch to a quick demo, but before that, I just want to add some context regarding the dates. This scenario planning follows a workflow which starts with demand or project managers creating new work items like demands or projects, which the portfolio manager needs to review as part of their portfolio planning exercise and give their approval as being prioritized or deprioritized, and also approve the dates at which those items needs to be executed. So this workflow will include 4 set of dates. So the first set of dates are planning dates. So these are aligned to demand or project manager user persona. So when a demand or project manager creates a new demand or project, they set the planned start or end dates in the demand or project creation form. So these are the dates by which the project manager want to propose to start this project or propose to start the project from the demand. So uh, then we have actual start and actual end date. So the actual start date is when a project moves to work in progress, it automatically gets updated with the planned start date, or the user can modify the actual start date if it didn't start on the planned start date. And the actual end date gets updated when the project or task is updated to close date, and it defaults to planned end date, but it can be modified by the user. So if these are for future items, whereas actual dates are for an item which has already started or already ended. And then coming to approved start or end date. So these are the dates which are approved by the portfolio manager. So when a new demand or project is created, the approved dates are same as the planned dates, because a item has been created, it didn't go through the approval cycle. So to just align with whatever is the estimates, it gets defaulted to the planned dates. But when the portfolio manager is doing the portfolio planning exercise, the SPW timeline uses the approved dates. And when a portfolio manager updates an item in the live portfolio plan or through approving a scenario, it's the approved dates which get updated. So the approved dates then are supposed to be referred by the project manager, and then they need to align the planned dates to the approved dates, because the portfolio manager has given approval to these set of dates. So if the planned dates are different from the approved dates, they are expected to update the planned dates as per the approved dates. Now coming to the scenario dates. So going by the workflow, so once the project is created, it has the planned dates. So the portfolio manager has created a scenario. So the scenario start and end date take the planned dates as reference. So as a portfolio manager, I see the scenario dates which align to the estimated dates. So if a project is estimated to start in January, I see that as my scenario start date. And then the portfolio manager can move that date inside a scenario. If I want to delay the project by 6 months, I will update the scenario by 6 months. And then when I approve the scenario, that scenario start date gets updated as the approved start date, so that the project manager can see that, hey, I got approval for this new date, which is 6 months down the line. So I will update my planned start date to align with whatever the approved date that I got. So this is the workflow that we have used in the scenario planning. So whatever I just shared in the last slide, the project or product manager, when they create a new item, they give the plan dates. The portfolio manager creates a portfolio plan, and the approved dates are same as the plan dates at this stage. So they will create a scenario to do the prioritization exercise. The scenario dates align to the approved or planned dates, because that's what the estimates are. And the prioritized states will potentially be out of plan because I didn't prioritize anything. So now in the scenario, the user will move things in or out of plan based on the priorities, and they will shift the timelines um, based on when they want the projects to be started. And they can create multiple scenarios with different priorities and timelines. And after comparison, they approve a scenario, and the scenario dates then get updated as the approved dates in the live portfolio plan. And the project manager sees the approved dates and revises their plan dates to match the approved dates. So this is the life cycle of the portfolio planning exercise, which starts with estimates and scenarios and portfolio manager giving the approval, and then the project manager revising the estimate based on the approval that they have received. So this is the ideal process to which the scenario planning is being designed for, and we recommend customers to follow this process if as much as possible. Now, let me shift to the demo of the new scenario planning capability. So let's see how the sample user that I have shared during the initial part of the presentation, who is Brian. Brian has a portfolio plan named IT Portfolio FY 24-25. So this is the portfolio plan created for the future fiscal year. So let's assume that for Brian, the fiscal year starts from July and ends in June 2025. So this is the IT portfolio using which they have created the portfolio plan. And these are different projects which Brian has already prioritized, and they are being executed. So during the mid-year review, Brian was informed by their leadership team that they need to prioritize a new AI-driven market intelligence platform project to leverage the new generative AI technology that has come in. Now, as we can see, Brian's teams are already full. They are already occupied with the ongoing projects, which are reflected on the roadmap view. Now, Brian needs to reprioritize his portfolio plan to accommodate this new project without impacting his organization goals for the year. Brian decides to use the new scenario planning capability for this portfolio planning exercise. So Brian creates a scenario named AI innovation integration using the new scenario planning capability. And he creates this scenario based on the current plan. So this is the new simulation mode that I was talking about. So you can see the in-plan toggle using which Brian can easily prioritize or deprioritize the items. These are the scenario start and end dates using which Brian can update the timeline. You can see this outcomes panel, which clearly displays the strategic alignment of the prioritized items. So Brian decides to first prioritize the AI project, and he deprioritizes an item named customer onboarding optimization. So when he does that, Brian notices that the outcomes panel shows that this action has impacted the organization's primary goal to enhance customer experience, as this customer onboarding project was very crucial to improve the customer experience for the current fiscal year. So Brian takes note of this trade-off for further evaluation. Brian decides to try out a different approach. So he creates another scenario named innovation rebalance, which is also based on the current plan.
Real quick, Vinay, we have a question from Sarah.
Yeah, maybe we can defer the questions until the end of demo.
Perfect. And sir, if you want to put it in the Q&A, we'll definitely come back to it.
So in this new scenario, after prioritizing this AI project, instead of deprioritizing the projects in the prioritization view, Brian switches to the roadmap view. And using the roadmap component, Brian decides to shift the project name Product Innovation Roadmap by a few months to accommodate resources to the new AI project. So Brian believes that this product innovation roadmap item can be deferred without impacting the short-term goals of the organization, which will make room for the new AI project to be executed in the current year. So Brian has just created two scenarios. Now he wants to compare these two scenarios with each other using the compare scenarios view. So in this view, the scenario from which he has selected compare scenarios will already be selected. He can select the other scenario that he has created using this add scenario option. So now the compare scenarios view clearly shows what's the current plan and how the two scenarios compare against each other regards to the strategic alignment and also the trade-offs that were done in each scenario. So we can see that in the innovation rebalance, the new AI project was added without deprioritizing any other item. Whereas in the AI innovation integration, the customer onboarding optimization was deprioritized, which was potentially impacting the enhanced customer experience primary goal. So after discussing with his leadership team, they feel that the second scenario, which is innovation rebalance, is the best scenario because it is perfectly balancing the long-term strategic objectives with the immediate demands that have arisen without impacting the goals of the organization for the current planning cycle. So they decide to go ahead with this scenario as their live plan. So Brian selects the approve scenario, which shows what's going to happen once he's going to approve the scenario. So he can also take notes of why they are approving this particular scenario in the note section, which is optional. So he says better balance between long-term and immediate demands. So he takes this note and he decides to delete the other unapproved scenario as he would no longer need it and selects to approve. So upon which the scenario gets updated as a live plan and we can see the AI market intelligence platform getting prioritized to be executed immediately and the product innovation roadmap project getting deferred by few months. So thanks to the new scenario planning capability, Brian was quickly able to try out multiple scenarios with different prioritization combinations and then approve the best scenario that rightly balances the short-term demands with the long-term strategic objectives. Yeah, that's the demo of the new scenario planning capability. So before we go on and take the questions, I want to quickly run a poll to see what you think about this new capability that we just launched. So Josh, if you could launch the poll. So yeah, based on what you saw, are you interested to use the new scenario planning that is already released, or would you wait for the future capabilities like financial planning or capacity planning or any other capability that is a must-have for your organization? So it will help us gauge interest in V1 and we are also looking for customers to partner with as early adopters. So I would send out another survey in the next slide, using which you can express your interest to participate in the early adopter program for scenario planning. So far, we have about 60% participation. So if you haven't filled out the poll yet, please go ahead and select your choice. Excuse me. Okay, we are 2 minutes in. We have 67% participation so far. So I'm going to end the poll now. So that's great. We have about 41% of participants expressing interest to use the new scenario planning that is released. So that is very good. And about 27% each are waiting for financials and capacity planning. So hopefully you would leverage the scenario planning once we add those capabilities. But yeah, I think this is definitely encouraging for us for the first release. So as a segue from the previous slide, we are, like I said, we are looking for early adopters who are interested to use the new scenario planning capability. And we have a program named SPM1 Vanguard program, which has only limited slots. So as part of this program, we work one-on-one with the customers who are interested to use the new capabilities, like scenario planning, and we offer support from the product and product success, where we will help you with guidance on the intended use cases and configurations that match your organization. And also, we also partner with, as we add future capabilities. Like I said, we have financials and capacity planning coming in. So we would share the designs and also discovery sessions with you to get early insights from you on like what you would like to have those in those, along with feedback from using the versions that are released so far. So if you are interested in this Vanguard program, please sign up using this link from the Zoom chat. So Josh, if you can please share the link in the Zoom chat, or alternatively, you can scan this QR code using your mobile or iPads. Uh, so it just asks for your interest and your email ID so that we can reach out to you. So just let's take a couple of minutes for you to fill out this form. George, did you share the link to the survey? Yeah, so is
I shared
the,
the wrong one first. The second link in there is the correct one.
yeah, it's
I
the
jumped
offer
ahead.
forms. Yeah, please fill the form from the second link that Josh has just shared. Let's give 30 more seconds and then we will go ahead to the next topic. We have 87 attendees, so that's pretty good turnout. Thank you so much once again, everyone, for your interest in the new scenario planning. Okay, so I think I want to move on to the future roadmap, but before that, maybe we can take some questions. So I see two attendees raising hands. So first, Sarah, would you like to ask your question? Sarah, yeah.
Sir, you should be
Sorry,
able.
I raised my hand in error. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so who else? Willie, do you have a question? Willie Stewart. Willie, do you have any question? Okay. No response. Looks like there's no question.
So we had one question still in the Q&A, Vinay. Papa has asked, could you show us how the deferred project appears on the execution side? So after you've deferred it, she was hoping to see what it looks like in the execution side.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. So this is the deferred project, the product innovation roadmap. So you can see that these are the approved dates, which are now starting from March. So if I go to the execution project using the execution URL, so yeah, these are the dates visible on the execution side. You can see that the planned dates are from November 1st, 24 to 5th March, whereas the approved dates now show they start from 5th March and end in July 2025. So it even highlights in red that it is 4 months from now. So now the project manager is expected to update their plan dates as per the approved dates. And now we can see that the red color has gone. So once I update the date, yeah. So now the project manager has used the approved dates to update their plan dates as per the approval given by the portfolio manager. So the reason why it's not automatic is the project manager would have created their financial and resource plans based on their planned estimates. So based on these approved dates, the project manager needs to rethink and realign those estimates along with the new dates so that he can plan better for the new approved dates. That's a great question. Thank you so much for asking. Any other questions? Okay, so I'll quickly go to the future enhancements. So the next item that we are currently working on is adding financial capability to scenario planning. So using this capability, portfolio users would be able to set their portfolio target to each scenario, like with whatever the amount that they are approved to spend or probably try out a different amount and then evaluate it against the cost of the prioritized items. So they can try out different combination of items and view how much is their cost and benefit that they are getting out of those prioritized items. And they can try out multiple such scenarios and arrive at the best plan, which gives the most amount of return on investment, and then approve the scenario which is agreed upon by the investment committee, which then becomes their life plan and also approves the budget to the prioritized items. So this will link to the budget allocation capability on demands, projects, and epics. So when a scenario is approved, the budget also will be automatically allocated optionally, so that the project manager, similar to how they change their dates estimates to align with approved dates, they can also change their financial estimates against the approved budget if it is different from whatever is the estimated cost. So this is the next item which we are working on, and tentatively it will be released in the first half of 2025. So safe harbor notice about this. And after that, we will be adding some usability enhancements where users will be able to collaborate as they do this trade-off analysis. They can visualize the differences between the approved scenario and the live plan. And we are also planning to add some generative AI recommendations for users to easily arrive at their live plan and also potentially resolve any capacity or financial conflicts that they might have in a particular scenario. And as I said, we are also planning to add capacity planning capability where based on the resource assignments requested from the demands or projects, users can see how much is the demand, resource demand versus how much is the available capacity against a particular timeline. And as they shift things in and out or moving projects out by a few months, they can see how are the resources allocated, if there is any over or underutilization of resources, and then consider that as well as they come up with their ideal scenario that can be approved as a live plan. So this is the future roadmap that we have for the scenario planning capability to give a holistic view of different resource and financial constraints and the resource and financial estimates from the new items, so that user can create an optimal scenario that offers the best return on the financial investment and also the resource investment that the portfolio manager is planning to do. Yeah, that's pretty much it about scenario planning. Any questions related to the roadmap before we move on? Silence is golden. So yeah, similar to what we did with scenario planning, and apart from the Vanguard program, we are always looking for customers to collaborate with us in doing user research and also influence the product experience. So please sign up using the link that Josh is going to paste in the Zoom chat if you are interested to collaborate in scenario planning or any other modules, be it financials, resources, capacity planning, goals. We have bunch of modules in which we are planning to collaborate with customers as we build those future enhancements. So please express your interest using the survey that Josh has just posted. We will reach out to you after the call to get started with this collaboration. Meanwhile, these are different resources that we have, which will help you realize value out of SPM products and also further your goals. So we have a great impact community, which you can explore using this link. We also have a lot of training and certification courses that we have on our learning portal. And we do offer expert services which guides your implementation. So you can learn more about it using the expert services community link.